Kiati. I'm head of Joshi Advocates. Thank you very much for joining us in this video. This is our Storytime edition, and today it's about Jeff. A warning before you continue watching this video. You must be seated because it's gonna get very, very dangerous if you're standing. All right, so Jeff, he was an overstayer. He came in the UK in 1995 and he submits his long residence application, right? Private life, 20 years. So we submit that application in 2019 when he had 24 years continuous living in the UK. And we had documents for each year to show that he'd been living in the UK from official sources like bank statement, bills, things like that. And we tell the Home Office, look, he lost his passport with which he came in the UK. But he is saying he came with a visit visa and with student visas. From 95, 2001, he had student visas given by the Home Office, and from 2001 he became an overstayer. Anyway, the point is, in 2019 he was living in the UK for 20 years at least, unlawfully. Now, Home Office refuses the application because they say, oh, he had a criminal conviction in 2008. And we're like, yeah, we disclosed it, we know. And it's not strong enough to refuse the application on suitability. And then they're like, oh, you claim you came in the UK in 1995, but you've given no documentary evidence to support that. And we're like, yeah, we said this is the passport number which bears the visa stamps. Please check your system. But they didn't bother. Anyway, they refused the application. So we went to court. The first tier tribunal judge says, oh, you have to have documentary evidence for every month for the last 20 years. And that's clearly not right because the Home Office policy confirms that all they want is every 12 months, every year, a piece of paper from an official source. Not every month for every year. For the last 20 years, no. So that was error one. And then the judge like, oh, he overstayed in the UK, therefore he doesn't meet suitability, And so that's obviously not accurate. And then in court, the Home Office like, oh, to the judge, he came in the UK and he says, he claims he came with a visa, but he's given us no evidence. Therefore, he claims he came in the UK. Right. So it's no surprise, appeal was dismissed. And we sought permission to appeal. So we challenged the judge's decision from the first tier to go higher in the upper tribunal. And we raised the points that A, the level of evidence required for the 20-year application is a document per 12 month per year for 20 years. It's not every month for every year in the last 20 years. One. Two, the suitability requirement, because the conviction, it's not strong enough because we put our policies and we make our legal technical points. And then three, that the judge says he is not suitable for the 20-year application because he overstayed. The 20-year law is for overstayers. You can't break it by overstaying. It's part of the requirement. Anyway, and then we went to court. And at court, we showed the Home Office that, look, at court in the first tier tribunal, you said that the Jeff was claiming that he came in the UK, but here is the paper, the subject access request, the Home Office record under the Jeff's name to show from 95 until 2001 for each year he had visas which the Home Office had issued. So how can the Home Office at court say, oh, you claim you came in the UK but you've given no evidence? The Home Office own record shows that he came in the UK and he was telling the truth. So the Home Office, when they saw that evidence, which is their own record, then they said to the judge, we will reconsider, give us 28 days, right? So the judge like, all right, we give you 28 days. And then just technical point here, the Home Office on the day was of the mindset that when someone's convicted and goes to prison in the private life 20-year route, the 20 year stops. And then it starts again from year one when the person comes out of prison. And we're like, no, that's not how it is. The policy says it stops, but then it resumes. It doesn't start from one when he comes out of prison. So, yes. So the Home Office went for 28 days to reconsider whether Jeff should be given leave to remain 2.5 years, having completed 20 years private life, long residence. 28 days come and go, nothing from the Home Office. 2 months come and go, nothing from the Home Office. So then Jeff's like, Joshi, write something to the court and ask them whether they should push the Home Office a bit or give us hearing date. I'm like, all right. So I emailed the court and I say, all right, give the Home Office 14 days or give us a hearing so we can actually move on and progress this. So the court says, forget giving the Home Office 14 days of notice, just here's the hearing date, come on this hearing and we'll resume to see how we can go forward. Now, so then we are given the court hearing date in the upper tribunal. And at upper tribunal, there is a Home Office presenting officer who is very clear, says, yes, Jeff has been here from 1995 until 2001, and then from 2001 until 2021. So yes, he has lived here for 20 years. I don't dispute that. Now I'm like, well, thank you, because we're using Home Office own record under Jeff's name and his immigration history to support what we're saying. So yes, so at court, the hearing starts. Make a note, right? The hearing starts at 10:28 and finishes at 10:32. It's a 4-minute hearing, and it's amazing. The judge allows the appeal on the day, and we're very happy and joyous. Now we're waiting for the decision from the Home Office saying, yes, we've got the court decision. We're going to implement it in our implementation team. So we're waiting for that email, right? And I get that email on Thursday. And I open the email, and when I read it, I'm like, hang on a minute, is this my client? Is this Jeff? Maybe they made a mistake. So the email from the Home Office says, you have been granted indefinite leave to remain. So I'm like, what? What does it say? I had to read it so many times since he's been granted indefinite leave to remain. What is going on? What? Because we made the application under the 20-year long residence, where the Home Office giving 2.5 years leave to remain. So we were shocked, surprised that the Home Office actually using their discretion to give Jeff indefinite leave to remain. They didn't give him 2.5 years based on the court decision. They gave him indefinite leave to remain. Indefinite leave to remain. So I get to thinking, maybe, if I made a mistake, right? What's going on? So then I think about it, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Before 9th of July 2012, the law used to be 14 years living in the UK and indefinite. From 9th of July 2012, the law changed and it became 20 years long private life living in the UK unlawfully, and the person gets 2.5 years. So maybe they felt so sorry for Jeff. They're like, oh my goodness, he's been living here for 26 years now. Had he only made his application in 2011, before 9th of July 2012, he would have still been living in the UK for 16 or 15 years, more than the 14-year requirement, right? So it's definitely the way to think about that decision, which is that when the Home Office caseworker made in the upper tribunal had looked at Jeff and like, oh no, I mean, he only applied in 2011 and with his 15 years length of residence, he would have had indefinite. So maybe that's how they've considered it. And so this is very rare. This is like 0.1% chance of getting indefinite leave to remain when you apply for 2.5 years following the 20 years length of residence, because that's all you can get. When you have 20 years length of residence, you get 2.5 years. You don't get indefinite. 0.1% chance of that happening. Oh, that's amazing. And it was amazing. He's like, for the last 20 from 2001, he hasn't left the UK. That's 20 years. For the last 20 years, he hasn't had a bank account and hasn't had, he said, we were discussing something, and he said, he doesn't order from Amazon. We're like, what? Why? And he's like, because he hasn't got a bank account. Like, you've never Amazoned anything. Like, how has things, what? And then when he came yesterday, and he got his biometric card. So yeah, we also got the biometric card, and it does say settlement on it, so there's no mistake. So when we got the biometric card, and he was like, I can now go to the ATM machine, because I'll get my bank card, I'll open a bank account. And I'm like, Jeff, nobody really goes to the ATM machine, because all online banking and things like that. He's like, Oh, he didn't know about that because he hasn't got a bank account. Oh, I just think, oh my goodness, the life Jeff's led. You know, I just hope that the Home Office maybe watches this video and understands that the decision he or she has made is amazing. It has given Jeff the freedom that he could not have dreamt of. He could not have dreamt of, because, you know, the best we would have had was 2.5 years, and then Home Office has pulled out the rabbit from the hat kind of trick, and he got indefinite. So amazing. All right, I'm going to leave it there. As always, contact me, details below, subscribe, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Take care.